Hey everyone, welcome back to today's Explainer. We've got a seriously fascinating snapshot of the world today, pulling right from the chaotic, multifaceted news cycle of August 11th, 2026. We're going to distill all that noise into a clear, visual briefing, unpacking what's happening locally, nationally, and globally, all in one go. All right, here's what we're looking at today. First up, Mumbai's infrastructure and transit. Then we'll hit national unrest and court rulings, shift gears into shifting tides in diplomacy, and finally wrap things up with some truly offbeat legal quirks. Let's get right into it. Section 1, Mumbai's infrastructure and transit, focusing on the daily grind and civic shifts. We're starting right here in Mumbai because before we can look at the world, we have to navigate our own backyards. And if you are caught in this, you already know. Monday morning was an absolute nightmare for commuters. We're talking 3 separate point failures on the Western Railway. Plus, over on the Central Line, a piece of construction material literally fell onto the overhead equipment at Malant. The whole system practically ground to a halt. To put that chaos into perspective, the Western Railway had to outright cancel about 45 local train trips. 45! And that Central Railway incident, a wire fell while they were dismantling an old footover bridge, sparked massively, and stopped the slow line cold for 24 minutes. People were stuck inside packed trains for over half an hour, pushed to the absolute breaking point. It got so bad that out of sheer desperation, some folks were actually stepping out and walking down the tracks. Now, while the trains were gridlocked, massive shakeups were happening on the roads too. The Maharashtra state government just dropped a hard 60-day deadline, mandated by a Supreme Court directive, to demolish all unauthorized structures along national highways. So if you're thinking of opening a new dhaba or a roadside eatery within that right-of-way, forget about it. It's banned immediately. Plus, a new district highway safety task force is reviewing all existing licenses over the next 30 days. Speaking of civic crackdowns, living in an old building in Maharashtra just got a bit more complicated if you need new utilities like water or drainage. Under this new push for ease of living, you've now got to pass a really strict compliance checklist. The urban local bodies are going to demand original construction permits, a structural stability certificate, and proof that you actually have adequate space for rainwater harvesting and solid waste management. It's a huge regulatory hurdle for older properties. Moving right along to Section 2, National Unrest and Court Rulings, looking at protests and verdicts taking the stage. Let's zoom out to the national level, because the tension in Parliament over last month's student protests in Delhi is officially boiling over. What we're seeing is total gridlock in the monsoon session. On one side, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju is saying, look, the Home Minister is perfectly ready for a detailed discussion. But he challenged the opposition to actually stay in the House and not, in his words, cower and run off when he speaks. And then on the flip side, the opposition isn't backing down an inch. Rahul Gandhi demanded to know exactly who ordered the police firing during those protests. His stance is pretty blunt. He argued the Home Minister is either complicit or incompetent, and quote, either way, he has to go. It perfectly encapsulates the heavy political gridlock we're seeing right now. Meanwhile, out in Jharkhand, the situation with the job aspirant protests completely blew up. It's fascinating to track how fast this escalated. What started as a march demanding recruitment exam reform spiraled completely out of control across a 4-kilometer stretch. Protesters breached barbed wire barricades and made it all the way to Gate No. 1 of the State Assembly, waving national flags, which literally forced the House to shut down for the day. You can just feel the sheer intensity of that confrontation in Ranchi. We're talking about over 1,500 security personnel, drawn from the Rapid Action Force, the Reserve Battalion, and local police, all scrambling to hold the line. They ultimately had to resort to water cannons, tear gas, and baton charges just to disperse the aspirants. Switching gears from the streets to the courts, a major verdict came down in Delhi today. A judge acquitted former Wrestling Federation of India chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh of sexual harassment allegations. And the judge's reasoning here is crucial. In a massive 239-page judgment, the court pointed out that the wrestlers' testimonies were just too inconsistent. In fact, 2 of the complainants actually admitted during the trial that they were pressured into making the claims. The judge flat-out called the allegations false and fabricated, stating they appeared to be part of a coordinated, politically motivated conspiracy. All right, Section 3, Shifting Tides in Diplomacy. We'll cover extraditions and trilateral pacts. Let's cross international borders for a second, because India is dealing with some serious strategic headaches right now.
Take Bangladesh, right next door. Their brand new government, in its very first meeting with the Indian High Commissioner, formally renewed its demand to extradite former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Doing this during a courtesy call to the new PM, Tariq Rahman, that is a huge signal. This extradition is going to be a massive point of friction in their bilateral relationship moving forward.
Then, if we turn our eyes toward the Middle East, there's a vital strategic question we have to grapple with. What exactly does the newly signed Mecca Joint Defense Agreement mean for India's own regional security architecture? Because this new pact is a total game changer. We are looking at a powerful new trilateral defense alignment, tightly connecting Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Turkey. This fundamentally alters the geopolitical landscape by hardwiring the Middle East directly into South Asia's security dynamics.
As we break down the analysis here from former Foreign Secretary Kanwal Sibal, it's clear why New Delhi needs to be on high alert. The bottom line is that Pakistan just got a major boost to its political and security profile. With heavyweight allies like Riyadh and Ankara backing them up, diplomats are warning that Islamabad might feel emboldened to take a much more combative diplomatic stance against India, knowing they could potentially rely on those allies if a regional conflict were to erupt.
And finally, Section 4, Legal Quirks and Offbeat News, the bizarre global wildcards.
Let's step away from the heavy geopolitical stuff for a minute because the world is just wonderfully unpredictable. Over in Wales, a massive multi-million-pound underground power project linking the UK and Ireland literally had to reroute its cables. Why? Because of Dobby the house elf from Harry Potter. I am not kidding. A project manager casually mentioned the construction route on the BBC, and Potter fans fiercely mobilized, flooding the network with calls to protect a local beach spot that serves as Dobby's unofficial grave. The fans won, and the infrastructure project had to move.
Or how about this totally wild, cascading chain of events? An endangered lar gibbon, which is heavily protected by international treaties, was illegally trafficked all the way from Southeast Asia, right through Manipur, across the entire country down to a road, and handed over to a prominent businessman. But here is the kicker. This whole underground smuggling ring unraveled simply because the monkey happened to go viral in an Instagram reel posted by popular Tamil actor Vikram. That one video immediately sparked a major Forest Department probe. You really can't make this stuff up.
Bringing it full circle back to Mumbai with a quick legal quirk, the High Court just laid down the law on Amazon retail. They firmly mandated that Amazon must inventory and destroy all of its expired food stock sitting at the Biawandi warehouse. The FDA actually yanked their food license over alleged irregularities in how they were getting rid of expired goods. It just goes to show, even a global e-commerce giant isn't immune to a local food safety crackdown.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on today. As you navigate your own daily grind, whether you're dodging train delays or tracking the latest political clash, how do you even begin to process a world that churns out this much chaos and bizarre wonder in a single 24-hour cycle? When a local utility regulation and an international trilateral defense pact share the exact same newsfeed, which one is actually going to impact your tomorrow the most? Keep asking those questions, and we will see you on the next Explainer.